Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to yet another beautiful day in Scotland. So before we get started on today's video, I just want to let you know that the merch store is now live. So if you want to pick up some Dave Rebuilds merch, which will massively help out the channel, I'll leave a link in the description down below to the website. But with that, let's figure out what we're going to do to this car today. So first things first on the list today, we're going to sort out this wing and the gap with the bonnet. And then after that, what we're probably going to do is jump inside the garage and start taking apart this to see how it all holds together, so that we can then jump back outside to tackle this. No time like the present as always, so let's crack on and get this wing lined up properly. Right, so that's the panel gap looking a lot better now. As you can see, both sides are looking a lot better. So I'm much more happy about that now, because it means that when we do our final fit, everything will go back to how it should be. And I know you're going to notice the fact that the lighting has changed slightly. So all I'm going to say is, and welcome back to a beautiful evening in Scotland. Basically, I got called away with work, and what we started off with this morning, I'm now picking up slightly later in the evening than I would have intended. So the next thing we've got to do to the car is we're going to take the wing back off, and the reason why is because the next thing on the list is we're going to remove this section here, and we need the wing off in order to do that. But before we do that, if you notice in the background, there's a rather nice set of alloy wheels, which got delivered while I was away, and unfortunately they're not for this build, or for any of my builds actually, they're for my brother's truck. And considering he's done me so many favours over the last couple of weeks, it's only fair that I help him chuck these wheels on his truck. But before we do that, let's have a quick look at them, because they are pretty cool. How good do they look, ladies and gentlemen? And with any luck, they look as good on his truck as they do sitting in my garage, because they are some pretty smart looking wheels. So with that, let's crack on, get these fit to the truck, see how cool they look, and then we'll take it from there. Well, the light isn't doing them any justice at all, ladies and gentlemen, but they do look awesome. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at them again during the day, And once the truck's settled back down, because obviously we've jacked up all 4 corners, but I think that looks absolutely epic. Right, so it's way too late at night to start drilling all this stuff. The neighbours will go absolutely mad. So what we'll do instead is we'll start taking this apart and figure exactly how it comes apart. So we'll know exactly how to remove this part once it comes time to replace it. Well, we've been rolling so long that my camera battery died. But we're getting there, slowly but surely. As you can see, drilled off most of the spot welds. Some of the bottom ones are super tough to get through just because there's 3 sheets of metal on them. But it's getting pretty late, so what we'll do is we'll come back in the morning. Good Lord, how long have I been in here? It's a nice day though. Oh well, seeing as it's the daytime again, we may as well crack on, get the wing off, get this part off, start fixing all this damage. Right, so at this point we're ready to weld. We took off all this section, cleaned it all up, zinc primed it. So what we'll do is we'll get some welds to hold this in place, and then we'll mock up the front part of it to make sure that the radiator fits properly. Then we'll take the radiator back off, properly weld it up, weld the front plate on, and we'll take it from there. It's coming along nicely, ladies and gentlemen. So basically what you saw there was us welding up all of this, buffing all the welds flat, giving them a coat of zinc primer, and then we test fitted all the panels, headlights, just to make sure that everything lined up the way we expected it to. And then we welded this up because this was the last piece of the puzzle. And as you saw there, we very quickly just painted this bit along here. So what we need to do now is let it dry, give it another coat, and then we'll scotch pad all of this and paint it black too. And at that point, we should be pretty much ready to get the car prepped for paint, and it's just a case of building it back up again. So with that, let's crack on, get all this painted black. Right, so that's everything now with 2 coats of paint, and I have to say, it's looking pretty spectacular. And I mentioned at the start of the video that I've now launched a merch store. Please don't feel you have to buy anything from there. If you want to, that'd be awesome, but please don't feel you have to. And the reason why it's taken me so long to make a merch store is because I wanted to try everything out, make sure it's good, before I offer it up to you guys. And as proof of that, got a fairly well-worn hat, as you can see. It stood the test of time. Got Dave Rebuild's hoodie that I've used a fair amount. You'll have seen it in the background in most of my videos. And to make sure the mugs didn't lose their signage over time when you put them in a dishwasher, for those of you that remember, the channel used to be called Dacey's Garage. Now this particular mug has been through the dishwasher at least 100 times, and the signage is still looking awesome. So everything on the store is designed to last. It can take an absolute beating. So anyway, with that, that's going to be the end of this week's episode, guys and girls. I hope you liked it. We got a fair amount done, but it was awfully time consuming. Getting all the spot welds drilled off, welding it all in place. In the next video, we'll get the top panel back off, we'll get the radiator, aircon unit, all that stuff back in place exactly where it's meant to be, button all that back up so we can get the car running again. Hopefully the final few parts will arrive in time, but with the way the world is at the moment, that's anyone's guess. And then we'll start prepping for paint. We'll paint the underside of the bonnet, paint the insides of the wings and all that stuff. And as always, I hope you're keeping well and I hope you're keeping safe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.